Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, beautiful people.
Yes, hello.
Can you tell Jessica's voice is raspy?
It's really raspy.
She took a nap. Bad idea.
I did. Bad idea.
Bad idea.
I did not know my voice can sound this way.
Actually, growing up, she always liked her voice to be raspy.
I did. It was just something. I don't know what it was. It just...
She liked that
it
Miley
changed
Cyrus.
it in something. I know.
That
That's
Miley.
very raspy.
But welcome here.
Yes, welcome.
I'm excited to, I say see everyone, but I do see you. Okay?
Yes.
You look good.
Yes, you do.
You look handsome.
Yes.
You look hot.
Yep.
You look beautiful. You're doing powerful things.
You are.
I hope you're having a powerful week.
Yes.
And I hope you know you're a powerful person.
Yes.
So today, very excited to get into another topic. And I like this topic because it's something that some people know exist, some people don't know exist.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it opens the door to understand deeper where you are,
Yeah.
you know? And also, I didn't ask you how your day is.
My day's really good.
Yeah.
It really is. It's very overcast today.
Yeah.
So I love an overcast day and
Swag.
hopefully we get some rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. It's already the weekend.
I know.
How's your day?
It's been really, really good.
Okay.
I really can't wait to see my husband.
Oh.
And just excited in
Yeah.
general. I'm an excited individual. So I'm ready for it's like, every day is a good day. So now when the weekends come, it's just,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just excited.
Yes.
Let's do.
Let's do it.
What it do? So today, what we want to talk about are bricks.
Yes.
Bricks that form walls. And so, people are like, okay, what's a brick? So everyone has seen a wall, I hope, and you see that it's constructed by all these various different bricks that are stacked up to form a wall.
Yeah.
And so so today we're going to talk about how a brick turns into a wall in your life.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens with this is that you might, bricks begin to form when you go through negative things.
Yeah.
Different events that happen throughout your life. Someone hurt you. Someone cussed you out. Someone spoke something over your life that they said you were stupid or you were never going to amount to anything. Or, there's some people that have always been told, all you're going to do for most of your life is just sleep around,
Yeah.
and different things that, someone put you down for. You had a child young, so someone sits down to mock you about that. So there are these different things, these different events, they might be small. Some of them can be minuscule, and some of them can be very big.
Very major.
But the thing is that they all amount to forming a brick, which in turn
Forms a
wall.
wall. Because each brick represents a different negative experience.
Yes.
Represents a different event that really didn't sit well with you, that you never addressed.
Yes.
That you never dealt with.
you never dealt with it, and that's why it's still there.
Yeah.
And the thing is that what happens is over time and in life, you sit down and you think that it's not that bad. It's not that bad of what happened, so I'm just going to push it to the side. But that brick is sitting there because it never was dealt with. It was never acknowledged. So when you don't acknowledge something, it sits, it stays, and it turns into a nasty situation that wreaks havoc through your life. So to put it more in a way that makes
More of
sense,
an analogy.
it would be a wound. So if someone hurts you and says something to you that's horrible, or someone cheated on you, someone stabbed you in the back, told other people things that you didn't really do, lied about you, or someone just hurt you in a way that, you never talked about. Maybe someone sexually abused you. Maybe it was, a situation where it was more so sexual silence, or you never ever talked about it. And then there's also, there's people that were in relationships, and these can even be just friendships that you've had throughout the years that have, hurt you in a negative way. People that have gone through divorce that has been negative for them. People that have found themselves, crippled just by just these different aspects of events that have come to their life, people that have gone through miscarriage. These are all aspects that can become bricks and form into a wall in your life and hinder you from going forward
and propelling you.
So you get a wound. So someone does this thing to you, and the next thing you know, it hurts, and you have a scar. It starts to bleed, right? And then maybe you'll just like wipe it up, and you're like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But you don't actually tend to it. You just wipe the blood away. The next day you're starting to notice your skin is a little bit tight. Yeah. It's starting to feel a little bit itchy, or maybe it's red around the area that the cut happened in. And so you're just like, it's not really a big deal. I'm going to take a Tylenol and I'll be good to go. Right. And so, then it gets worse and worse. It starts to throb. Yeah. Then it's really hurting. And so now you're like, you know what? Oh gosh, what this person did, it really did hurt me. So I'm going to ease the pain. I'm going to get a new boyfriend. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get a new man, they say, or I'm going to change my look, or I'm going to go get drunk tonight because I want to forget. Or I'm going to go to the club and just, live it up, be with a bunch of friends, hang out with friends, as much friends as I can, to surround myself with people so I can forget and get tossed in this useless sense of conversation that goes on and on and on, but really is just a sense of you trying to ease that wound. Okay. And so then, because you didn't treat the wound and you thought that, hanging out with these people was going to treat it, you find out it didn't. It didn't do anything for it. What happened is, now that the hangover wears off, the wound is back, and with a vengeance this time. Now that, the boyfriend is gone, now that all these different things have ceased for the night. Yeah. You're alone more than you've ever been, and you feel the pain like never before. So the thing is that, people are like, I'm going to move to a new town. Yeah. I'm just going to leave. Yeah. Even if you leave from one state to the other state, you bring yourself with you, baby. Yep. You bring yourself with you, and you bring your stuff with you too.
It follows you.
Yeah. It's a cut, and it's on you. It's permeated inside of you. It's embedded in you. Yeah. And so you not acknowledging it only causes it to spew and leak. And what happens to a cut once it gets infected, right? It starts to smell. Yeah. And so just like this, it will start to smell, and it'll start to leak. It will start to leak pus. And this pus is an analogy in your life for what it starts to leak in every area of your life because you're infected.
Yeah. It could be through your attitudes. Yep. The way you treat people. Yes. This pain that you're carrying, like you said, in every area, you start to see it play out.
Yes. Yeah. And so what we are going to do now is go through the different walls. Okay. So the different kind of walls that different people might have. Yeah. The first wall I like to call the wall of betrayal. Yes. And I like to call it the wall of betrayal because it's a person that has gotten hurt in the sense of being cheated on. So someone had an affair. Yeah. And so it hurt so bad, and you were so broken from that experience. It was so negative for you, and it wounded you so badly that you literally hate the man who did this to you.
Yeah. Or a woman.
Yeah, or a woman. And but instead of tending to your womb, from the pain that this person caused you, from this man that he caused you, you run away from it and hope it goes away. Yeah. And so, now it's been a few years, and you're so fearful of being in a relationship that you've convinced your mind to believe you're not worth it. Yeah. That a relationship isn't worth it, and you'll be hurt again. So now your thoughts on relationship is messed up too. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So the thing is that when you believe something, and then your mind receives that thought, now your mind goes, okay, relationship is bad. It's not going to work for me. Now that your mind believes that, then the way you see everything you do is you see out of that perception.
Yeah.
So now your eyesight becomes tainted. You could have a good thing standing right in front of you, and you wouldn't even notice it because your eyesight isn't clear. Your eyesight is tainted. It's seen through the viewpoint of hurt and pain. So now every single thing you see is distorted.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's not real.
It's what
you're seeing. Yeah.
And you it means you can't see any man correctly now. So you believe every man's going to hurt you. And then when a new relationship presents itself to you, you say to yourself, you know what? I'm never going to allow a guy to hurt me like the last one did. I'm never going to do that again. So now you come into the relationship having not dealt with the wound,
the past.
Yeah, the wound of the past, which is now a brick you never acknowledged. So you come into this relationship infected, already with the horrible perception and already believing that this man is doing the worst.
Yeah.
He's going to do the worst. And now you come in and you're so infected by the last relationship that you had that you decide, you know what? I'm not going to let this man get away with it. So you know what you're going to do? You become a private eye.
Yeah.
A private investigator.
Private eye.
And that's what I say because you know good and well this time you're like, no. You sneak around and you start looking in his phone. You're looking through all of his different
You're trying
things.
to find something.
You're wanting to see.
Yeah.
But you're checking his phone, you're spying on him. And see, this is the thing. You've watched enough cop shows. You've watched enough interrogations where you know what exactly you're going to do, what you're going to say. And every night you're lining up questions after question after question for him of asking him what he's doing, of asking him where he's going.
What he did in his day.
And disclaimer, don't think that there aren't men that haven't done this too. Don't think there aren't men that haven't done this too.
Yes.
Okay. You know, you be checking her phone and say, I don't believe this is the number to Sam's club. I believe she's up in the club with Sam.
Yes. You know who you are.
And so I'm talking about different relationships, and there's a sense of where women can be cheated on, but men can be cheated on too, and in turn do things that they revolt inside, and they start to go crazy and dictate and look at, and miscommunication they call it. But no, the truth is you're speaking from a place of anger and resentment of your past, and now you are utilizing it onto that new relationship,
onto your future.
Yes,
potentially.
So, yes, you carried it with you. You know, and so for some women, you'll see him talk to another woman, you'll be like, "Oh, why is she laughing? I wonder what they're talking about. Why is she tossing her hair like that?
Yeah,
weird. It seems like." Weird. That's so. It's like they're definitely together. I know it. I mean, he should just go with her. He's better off with her.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Really?
And then he comes back and he tells you he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you believe what you want. You start to form your own beliefs.
Believe what you want.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You form your own beliefs, and the beliefs are always against you. The belief is always, he's going to hurt me, And so your infection has you so messed up that the next thing you know, this man is trying to plan, or even this woman is trying to plan a beautiful surprise for you. They might be trying to throw you a surprise party. They might be trying to propose. So they're trying to move on into new levels in the relationship with you. They might be planning something with your best friend. And because you are so infected, you're sitting down and you're reading into him talking to your best friend and thinking, ooh, what's going on? Why is he talking to her?
Yeah.
And you see, he'll talk to anyone.
He never talks to me like that.
And you're all of a sudden putting in these notions that aren't even correct because you're so infected. And the next thing you know, you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to jump out before he hurts me.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump out before he hurts me like the other guy hurt me. And this man was never going to hurt you at all.
Never.
So you miss out.
Yeah.
All because
on something beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
All because you were fearful of what happened years ago. And you just gave up a good man. Not a good man. A good man.
Yeah.
You gave up a good man, or you gave up a good woman. A good woman.
Yeah.
Okay. And he wasn't perfect. But he wasn't going to hurt you the way that you thought he was, like your past had. And if you had given him a chance, if you could just have let go and have dealt with this infection
before you entered the relationship,
you never would have had to lose out on something that would have been powerful in your future.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. So it's just, and so that's the wall of betrayal, because you start to believe that everyone is out to get you and everyone is going to do you dirty, do you wrong, mishandle you, and it's not good.
Yeah.
And then the next wall, I love to call the invisible wall.
Invisible.
Yeah. And this is for the person that is constantly feeling overlooked.
Yeah.
It could be someone who's a middle child, for instance, and they're just that child that they feel like they've always just gotten looked over and no one's really paid attention to them, or everyone's just thought they were just strange, the odd one out. And then as you get older, things will happen where you find yourself constantly looked over. And it could be in small ways too. No one chose you for the kickball team. And
something as little as that. It really does amount into a brick.
Yes, no one choosing you. You know, you're always the last. And maybe when you get to college, no one really wants to do a group with you, or, you're constantly like trying to find anyone that you can be in a group with, and you're kind of just out of place and alone.
Yeah, starts to stack.
Yes, and over time, each of those events, they've hurt you. They cut you. Another cut of being like, I'm alone. Why doesn't anyone want me?
Why me?
Yeah.
Yeah. The story of my life.
Yeah. They start to say that, and you'll hear people that say that. They're like, well, that's the story of my life.
Yeah.
Or, that's
they
how
just
it
accepted
goes.
it. That's what it is.
So they've accepted it, but then they get to the point where they've been so overlooked that even if the waiter will bring out the wrong dish to them, they won't even make a peep. You know what? Never mind. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it actually is to you.
Yeah.
It hurts a little. It feels a little, ugh. And it's not that people don't make, they don't make mistakes. The waiter made a mistake.
Yeah.
But it's that you were so hurt by all the other constant things that came into your life of people just constantly looking you over, that when this waiter doesn't bring you the right dish, you're going, oh, there it goes. I'm looked over again.
Yeah.
And then this goes into your work life even, where you want to get a promotion.
You want to apply for a new position.
Yes, you would love to apply for that new position, and you are qualified. You have been at that job for 13 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know that you're qualified for it, but you go, you know what? I've been overlooked so many times that honestly,
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah. Why?
They're not going to choose me.
Yeah.
So you automatically cancel yourself out.
Yeah.
And and then the next day or years from now, as these events pile up, you might find yourself having breathing problems.
Yeah.
That you never knew that were associated with you. You never felt that way before, but all of a sudden you can't breathe and you feel like you're choking,
Anxiety.
Yes.
Even. Yeah.
And by you, it hurts so much being looked over that you never speaking up and standing up for yourself, that your body internally, it couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It resulted in you having anxiety, not being able to breathe properly. And sometimes these things that happen, they lay dormant in you until one day it's triggered.
Yeah.
And then boom, you can't breathe. It
explodes.
Yeah. And it explodes into external things that happen to you. So the external things that happen to you then affect the internal things that happen to you. Yeah. Then in turn, you start to react and respond.
You start to express that way, such as the not breathing properly.
So someone overlooking you, and you never standing up for yourself, you know what it does to you? It takes away your voice. When someone takes away your voice, you're restrained. You pull back. You stay silent. Then in that silence, you find...
Yeah, the words won't come out.
Yeah, it won't come out. Yeah. Or you start to stutter, or the words aren't there. All of a sudden, this external experience now internally is infecting you, and you are not dealing with it. So now you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And that goes along too with people who have had, the wall of privacy, I like to call, where, these are for the people who were raised to keep things private.
Yeah.
They were told at a young age, you know what, you shut up about the family. When it comes to the family, what happens in this house stays in this house.
Yeah.
And you don't talk about anyone. You don't go talking to people at school or friends or anyone outside of this household about our family. It stays here.
Yeah.
So you need to keep your mouth shut about family business.
Yeah.
That's basically what you've always known.
Yeah.
And so what happens with people like that is it's easy for you to internalize things. You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
About things that hurt you because you grew up living this way. So you grew up thinking that, when something happens, I just kind of like keep it here.
This almost became normal to you. This became your way of life. You have not known nothing else.
Yep.
Nothing different. And so, that's what it is. You start embracing that and keeping that within your relationships, within your friendships of not sharing, not, being vocal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, as you go through life with that, the problem is that you're a person that wants relationship, right?
Yeah.
So you come through a place where you're told, don't say anything, don't talk about things. But then when you find yourself dating, you have to talk.
Yeah.
And you're going, no, I'm not going to do that.
Foreign.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So, and then somehow, oftentimes these people end up even in marriages and they're not talking. They're not sharing what's really going on inside of them. Their husband might have done something that was hurtful to them. They don't really talk about it or, and they won't share that even with a counselor or anything or get help or reach out to anyone because they're like, I'm just going to be in this alone.
Yeah.
And so there'll be internal, struggle within you because you've never externally let it out. And the other thing that is sad about situations with the privacy wall is it can even happen to someone who's being abused in their home. They can be being abused constantly at home, verbally, physically, and they're constantly thinking, I can't speak about this. There's no way this can leave my doorstep. This conversation can never happen outside of this home. And so in turn, they're suffering, and the next thing you know, the external issues mess with the internal. And for example, I had a woman that I was helping, and also it was a man and a woman that I was helping separately. And they came to me because they were having panic attacks. And these panic attacks started late in their lives. Around 30 years of age was when they found their first panic attack happening, and they didn't understand what was going on. And at first they thought they had asthma, because, it felt different to what they associated with what a panic attack was in their mind. But so they couldn't breathe. Their chest got really tight and felt closed. And they had also gone to the doctor to get an inhaler, which is always so easy to just go and get an inhaler, And so as they were talking, they were telling me, each of them separately, that it hadn't changed. It still hadn't relieved their symptoms. They were still finding that their chest was closing up and all of these things. So as we started talking, it was traced back to the times that they each said this separately, times that they felt things were being taken away from them. That they felt like things were constantly being pulled away and that they were never standing up for themselves in those moments. Whereas maybe one of them came home for the holidays and one of their family members was saying negative things about them, little comments, here and there, and they wouldn't say anything about it. And then, at work, their boss would say little comments here and there, maybe even racist comments to them, and they wouldn't say anything about it. Then it would happen, at school, where something would go on and their teacher would give them a different grade than they knew they could have done. They knew they did better, but they never went and talked to the teacher about it. So they just let it go. And so there's different issues where these people just started burying themselves without a voice, without ever saying, no, I need to talk about this. This is not correct. And I remember, I'll never forget, this woman described it as she was choking. She said she was choking, and, I realized it was literal. She was literally choking. Her silence was causing her not to breathe properly. And so, Some people find this shocking. They find it shocking how much the mind and body are connected to each other.
Yeah.
And the truth is that things happen to you externally, like I said, will affect you internally. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, internally you feel pain.
Yeah.
So by not speaking, you might find you begin to have chest pains where you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You know, you feel up against the wall. And it's important for you to know not every pain requires that you go to the doctor.
Yeah, not at all.
Some pain is just, it does not acquire medical attention. Mm-hmm. Some pain requires that you deal with what started that pain to begin with.
Going back and tracking that back and seeing, oh, wait, I wasn't feeling like this before. What happened? Yeah. What event triggered this? Yeah. And I think sometimes it can take time to kind of, undo and kind of look at things. But once you get down to it, you're going to see, oh, it was because of this. Yeah. It wasn't because whatever it was, I broke my arm. No, it was because this happened to me. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. And so it was these series of events.
It's important to note that before you go to a doctor, for an internal issue, that you are checking all the sides. Mm-hmm. It's always important. I mean, that's for anything that you buy in life. You want to make sure you know what you're getting into, and you want to make sure you go in fully aware. So first, addressing the issues of your mind, and then going to address is seeing
the physical.
Yes, because as this woman started speaking out, as she started standing up for herself, as we begin to develop boundaries that she needed to put up, as we begin to talk to this man about the different things that he needed to let go of, and the different areas from when he was just a child that he felt looked over and passed by. As we went to those areas and dug in them, they hurt. Yeah. It was this wound because it had never healed. And so going to that brick and tending to that brick, and then going and treating it, and now them finally having the power and knowing that they can stand up for themselves, all of a sudden she's going, I breathe better. Yeah. I haven't felt like this in months. I didn't know what was going on with me, why I couldn't breathe all the time. Yeah. But finally, after addressing this, I feel better. I sleep better. And that's always the first thing that they always say. They sleep better. They breathe better and they sleep better.
They can fall asleep right then and there. Yeah. They're like, I'm so tired once they get released.
Yes. I've actually had a client come in, and I talked to her, and as we walked through some different things that she was going through, she started falling asleep. Yeah. And it's powerful because the mind really does affect and can infect the body. Yes. So that's what's very important. And then, I believe you were mentioning one too that we found necessary to bring up was the topic of abandonment, the wall of abandonment.
The wall of abandonment.
And that wall can turn into the wall of resentment. Yeah. And abandonment, for most people, they will refer to it as, their parent left them, their dad left them, or their mom walked out on them when they were young. But abandonment can also happen even when when your dad and mom are living within your home. Yeah. It can happen when your dad's right there and your mom's right there. Yeah. But they're never actually home. Yeah. They might be working constantly. They might constantly be, they have jobs that take them away, or they're hardly, when you're around them, you hardly have anything to talk about. Yeah. There's no connection that you guys have formed or a bond that you guys have shared throughout the years. And so that's still abandonment in itself. Yeah. And, you might think to yourself as you grow up, well, I had both my parents at home, so I wasn't abandoned. But when you start to look back at the resentment that you might carry when you look at other people's relationships with their parents versus your own, then all of a sudden you're going, wait,
it looks different.
Yeah, why didn't I have that? Yeah. Why don't I have that today? And you there's this anger that's associated with that resentment, because you feel as though these people were supposed to be there for you and they weren't, and the thing is that as in being parents, as they are people, they're going to make mistakes. Yeah. And even though you were the child in that situation and it wasn't a fair one, but it is necessary to understand where they might have been in their lives too.
Yeah.
So as you develop this understanding of why you're resentful towards your parent, and you go and you actually talk to them about it, you might find that they didn't, first off, know that you felt this way. Second off, you might find they were raised in a similar way that they raised you.
Yeah.
So their parents weren't home.
Yeah.
And then in turn, they just did the same thing and thought that that was just normal, you know? Or you might find that your parent will tell you, wow, I didn't know that I did that to you, but I do know that I did the best I could. Or during that time, I was going through this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't let them off the hook, but it gives you an understanding that you never had, all because you were willing to go up to them and say, hey,
let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this. I feel like you weren't there.
Yeah.
I feel resentful of this. And in order for you to be able to develop and to make sure that you don't carry on this way of living that they chose into the life with your children.
Yeah.
It's important that you sit down and go, I want to bond with my parent, you know, if that's what you can do, to bond properly with your child, to not do what was done, but not to repeat. Not repeat the cycle, and to go back and actually speak on it causes that cycle to be broken.
Yeah.
To go back and actually say, let me treat this. Let me see where it stemmed from. Now I can treat it.
Yeah.
Now I can go forward and do better.
Yeah.
You know? And so I sit down to really noticing that it's very necessary that people come into this understanding of talking and taking action steps to getting the freedom that they need. So people will say, how do I address the wound then? How do I treat the wound?
Where do you start with it?
Because the wound has to be treated, you know?
Yeah.
And
the brick has to be taken down.
Yes.
The wall.
And so directly, you have to treat it directly by telling the person who hurt you about the wound. That's one way. So, and what I want to say is this is one way that the way of addressing a wound means to go and acknowledge the wound. So first acknowledging it exists. So when you acknowledge it exists, it starts to do something in you where all of a sudden this thing that you buried is like, it hurts. You're like, she said to address the wound, and now I'm pissed. Yeah. Like I'm so much more mad than I've ever been. Yeah. No. And that's where you're doing everything right. Yeah. When you feel it coming up in you from being unearthed.
Yeah. You feel those tears coming
in your
through.
Spirit. And then you start to know, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
And I want you to just sit there. Sit with it. Feel the pain of it. Because the problem is that when the pain came, you did everything you could to take it away. Everything by, drinking or trying to get in another relationship, moving towns, getting a divorce, running away, constantly doing anything you can to escape that wound. But until you actually sit and you feel it and you go, okay, that's what that is. I feel you. Now you can know, okay, what do I need to do with this?
Yeah.
And so that comes in tackling it by going directly to the source that caused this wound. And so for some, that looks like talking to the person directly that caused the wound in your life.
Yeah.
And when it comes to talking to this person, I do have suggestion in that you would consider a mediator. Yeah. If necessary, depending on what the wound is about and what the topic surrounding it is, you might need someone there that can guide the conversation. And that's where mental finesse would actually come in.
That's where we come in.
We would love to mediate that and help you walk through that and get you back home to where you need to go in your life to get you on track in a whole new way. So that it's very important though that you keep in mind that when you're coming into this process and talking to this person, you're not going after them. You're not coming to say, this is what you did to me. And this is
all of that has left. All of that has been gone and lifted.
Yes. Yeah. And the way that has been gone and lifted is now that you've acknowledged it, and now that you have decided this hurts, you can take that with you and talk it out to yourself. You might need to write. There's some people that need to write a letter to the person.
Yeah.
There's 2 letters. One letter that can say the worst. You write it out, every single sentence. It might be the worst words in the world. And that letter is a letter that is releasing that from your spirit.
Yeah.
And then after it is done, you cry it out if you need to, and you burn it. That letter is to never be revealed.
Yeah, it's done.
It is a letter that is personally for you to be in vindication mode.
Yeah.
It is a way in which you are releasing it and getting it out of your spirit without attacking that person.
Yeah.
So now that you have released it from your spirit, then you go into the process of being able to actually talk to the person. And that could look like writing a new letter to the person. And you might want to have someone look over this letter too, to make sure you, like I said, it is addressing the issue. It is addressing what happened. And it is speaking that you have now forgiven this person.
Yeah.
And that might be the hardest words that you don't want to say. Yeah. But when you are forgiving, you are letting them get out of your spirit. You're letting them
off of your hook.
Off of your hook.
Yeah. Not off of the hook. What they've done or what they did, it might have not been right. It was nasty. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But you're saying, for me in my house, I'm going to let you off my hook. You're not going to hold me down any longer. You're not going to cause me any fear, any anxiety anymore. Yep. I'm loose, I'm free, and goodbye.
Yes. And so, in that, you might find that person may or may not forgive. They may or may not even remember, first off, that they caused you pain, and they may or may not care.
Yeah.
They might. So what I want you to do is to never expect anything.
Yeah.
Do not expect that now this person is going to change their ways, apologize to you, as they should, but do not expect it.
Yeah.
Let people do what they will. What your job is to go and to tell this person what they did to you in order to now stand up for yourself, expose it, acknowledge it, and let the infection get out of your system.
Yes.
So that you can no longer carry it. So that now you can move on into your future. And there's others of you that might look like talking to a counselor. It might look like coming to Mental Finesse, talking to us. It might look like first doing that step before talking to these people. Yeah. Because you have some stuff that you need to get out first. And that's okay. Yeah. So there's different steps for different people, and for some people, they might want, like I said, they might want to do it directly. Other people might want to do it through the phone or FaceTime.
Calling that person.
But the message that it is, the best thing is in which your voice is being heard. Being seen and being heard are 2 powerful things. Yeah. They release you and they say, you no longer have this control over me because I know what I'm saying and I know that you're seeing me. Whether or not you care, I know. Yeah. And so I'm free, and you're exposing it and acknowledging it, and it's vital,
Yes.
And so now that you treat the infection, it can be killed off and you can properly heal. And I would say, again, don't find yourself before entering into any new relationships or friendships or whatever it might be. Don't find yourself entering into those things before you have assessed that there are things in you that are properly healed. Yes. You don't want to just come back into something carrying the past wounds. Yeah. Because if you carry them in with you, then you will lose amazing things for you.
As we spoke about, the future,
If you carry them in with you, you'll lose amazing things for you. You lose out on those things because it's tainted. Until it is treated, you are infected and therefore seeing things out of the wrong perception. Yeah. So I believe there's some people that do know that there are things they haven't dealt with. And then there's some people who have never known that they didn't deal with a situation, But both of these people will think many times addressing it is worse. Yeah. But actually addressing it is the most therapeutic thing you can do in your life. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because some of you have bricks on top of bricks.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to go back and tend to each one. But I can tell you this, each time you tend to the brick, you will feel a newfound freedom you've never had in your life.
Yes.
You will feel lighter.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, for those of you who have been angry over the same thing since 1992, you know, for the first time, you know, you are going to be able to breathe properly.
Yeah. You're going to feel like a new person.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't feel like you have been able to breathe properly and thought it was asthma, for this first time you experience what it's like to inhale without an inhaler.
Yeah. Fresh air.
Fresh air, not coming from an inhaler. And for those of you who thought struggling to digest was a family thing that, you know, your whole family went through, you'll find you can now properly digest your food, all because you tended to the bricks you were running from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
exactly. So, yes.
You went to deal with the internal in order to experience external. You went and dealt with the internal issue in order to experience external freedom.
Yes.
It's powerful.
It is. It really is. It's incredible. And it starts day by day, and it starts putting in that work, going into those, like we said, those dark places, places you don't want to go, but.
And that's where we call it Tetris, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to keep the bricks from piling up. So that means that each time something happens in your life that's negative, that's traumatic, that's frustrating, address it.
Yeah.
Go to the source. Call that person. Talk to them. Talk to someone. Reach out to someone about it. Expose it for what it is rather than keep it in.
Yeah.
To be free from it is to actually expose. You know, and that eliminates the brick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden when you've gone, hey, you did me wrong. And the person, you know, let me tell you, you did me, you know, it really hurt when you did this to me.
Okay.
And you know, since my childhood, ever since you have put me down and you have not spoke correctly into my life, I feel like you never spoke amazing words over my life like you did to the other children.
Yeah.
It's just, I felt like all the responsibility was on me.
I see. I'm so sorry. I really am. I'm so sorry for that. I didn't mean to put all that on you. I didn't know you were caring so much. I'm so sorry. I really am.
And you see, in that moment, all of a sudden, starts to release. The infection starts to leave your system, and you start to begin to properly heal.
And even if I didn't say I was sorry, it's still releasing it. Yeah.
So even if I was to go to you and I'm like, you know, it was hard, but I want to come to you and let you know that what you did to me the other day, even when you just, when you criticized me for no reason and called me out in front of all those people, it really bothered me.
Well, I didn't try to do that, so.
So you're not going to say sorry or anything?
No, I don't feel like I have anything to apologize for.
Why don't you feel like you should apologize?
Because I didn't do anything. Why don't you feel like you should apologize? I didn't do anything.
You did it.
No, I didn't. You did it. No, I didn't.
That's not what we want. That's not where you're coming from.
No.
What you're coming from is to know it doesn't matter if she says she's not going to accept my apology.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if she says, too bad, I don't care. It doesn't matter if she says that.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting down to say, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you apologizing? Yeah. It is her choice. It is my choice to stay in my power and to go, all I came here for was to let this person know what happened.
Yes, that's
it. all. I came here to expose it, to say it out, to call it in for what it is, and to let go of it.
Yes.
What they choose to do with that, that's on her. That's on her sleeping tonight. But you're going to sleep like a baby.
Yes.
Can guarantee you
that.
Are.
Yes.
And because the thing is, you have to have these bricks and to keep them there. You have so much in you that you are called to do.
Yeah. So much.
So if you stay wounded, it'll stop you from the things of your future. It'll stop you from that next job position. It'll stop you from the husband that you could have. It'll stop you from having another child after you miscarried. It'll stop you from loving your parent who maybe you will resent. And it will stop you from just being able to move into the next direction of your life and be free.
Yeah.
So it will stop you from being able to be in a relationship with anyone and feel like they actually love you and care about you when they tell you to. When they tell you they do, it will stop you so much, all because you are so internally messed up and eroded inside that you are so mad and angry and attached to it that you never let it go.
You never did.
And you have too much to offer.
Too much.
That's why
too much.
You look around and you get angry at other people that you see moving. You see them moving in life and
passing you up.
Yeah, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
It's not that you're mad that they're getting promotions. It's mad that you're not doing what you need to do for you to be propelled, because you know you have amazing things in you. You know who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Some of you are supposed to be the next business owner of something that you've always known in your spirit.
That you had a passion for.
You've always known you were supposed to launch that line.
Yeah.
You've always known you were supposed to take certain steps to go and sing. You always knew you were supposed to become that piano teacher. You always knew you were supposed to become a teacher. You always knew you were supposed to be an actor. You always knew that you were supposed to become a professor. You knew certain things that you were supposed to do from the time you were young, but you did not go and do those things because of wounds, because of words that someone spoke over you, because someone told you couldn't, because someone told you weren't pretty, because someone told you couldn't do anything that you set your mind to, because you received words and because you were overlooked, because your parents told you to keep quiet, so you felt like, you know what, I'm not worth it, because you were sexually abused, so you feel like you can never go forward. I am telling you, you can. You can be free. You can
absolutely go forward.
And you are supposed to be free. Yeah. And this wound is these wounds are trying to keep you.
To hold you back.
To hold you hostage.
Yeah. From your destiny.
Yes. Yeah. So it's important your wound heals so that you're doing what you are called to do. Yes. So you are living the life you're called to live, enjoying the moments you were called to enjoy. Yes. And not letting life pass you anymore.
No more.
That's what this is about. We don't want life to pass you.
We don't. We really don't. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you get further. Yeah. We want to see you, do what you want it to do and fulfill those dreams of, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. We want to see you get there.
Yes. Yeah. We want to see you get there. And so I just wanted to encourage you, each one of you today. And, I feel like really sending a message to Granny. Granny, I love you so much.
We love you so much,
and
Granny.
I appreciate that you've always been a woman that continues to continue. Yes. That you don't hold in anger. You don't hold in resentment. From all the various things that you have experienced in your childhood, you have grown and thrived and continue to thrive. Yeah. And I thank you for the longevity that you have sustained in that you have caused yourself to be monumental. A monumental woman among women. Yeah. And you are a queen. And I just thank you so much for your impartation.
In our lives.
In my life as a woman.
In my life.
And really challenging us to never stay in one place.
Never settle.
Never settle. And to get these things out of your spirit. Yeah. Every single time that you forgive, you keep forgiving. Yeah. You might have to forgive people a few times. The same person. And an event that you already thought you forgave them for. Yeah. But you might have to go back and do it again. And that's okay. Yeah. It continues to allow for the brick to dissolve and the infection to go away. Yes. And so we love you.
We love you so much.
And
we're proud of you.
Yes. We're proud of you. And thank you so much for being here today. Yes. Thank you for subscribing. Yes. And we just hope that you can continue to follow and see what we have going on next. Yeah. Because it's going to be on and popping.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I know this conversation was more of a real different one in the sense that it's just,
more personal.
Yeah, more personal. It is what it is, though. Yeah. I want you free.
Yeah.
I don't want you halfway
realities.
Free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we love you. We will see you in the next one.
Yes.